Good morning, you guys. I'm glad to be here. My morning started off stressful. I left the house at 8:20 to be here for my class at 9:30, and about 9:15, I'm like, why am I still sitting still on 65? And it discovered there was an accident, and it said over an hour to get to the studio, even from Harding Place. So I had a little bit of a panic, but I made it just in time. I cleared. Woo! I did a very physical practice for Blissful Flow. I had originally stated we were going to be 100% restorative, but there are a couple people wanting some movement. Now, I don't mind giving movement before we restore. So that's what we're going to do. Before we go into that movement, I just want to say that there was a big conjunction that happened yesterday, Jupiter and Saturn in Pisces, which may mean not much to you. Honestly, if I were just to hear that, it wouldn't mean much to me either. But because I've been following astrology, I've been noticing what all of the astrologers are talking about. And one of the big themes for this year comes from this conjunction that just started yesterday. And it doesn't mean the event had to happen yesterday. It means that that conjunction is ushering in the energy that's going to move us forward. It's being compared to 2009. So if you look back at 2009, we were just coming out of a recession. And that was, what, 12 years ago. So these planets that are orbiting the sun, they each take their own time, right? Depending on where they are in location or proximity to the sun. These two planets only are in conjunction every 12 years. And every 12 years, it's in a different zodiac sign. So it takes 166 years for it to go through all 12 zodiac signs. So it's literally once in a lifetime, actually more rare than that, because it's every 166 years, that this is going to be in Pisces. And there's a lot of focus on this right now because we're in the year of the water tiger, a lot about water. We're in the year of, with astrology and numerology, it was also a lot about water. And here we are with these two planets in a water sign. The water sign of Pisces has both of those planets as its kind of rulers. Both of them are related to water. Jupiter is about expansion, and then Neptune is named after the Roman god of the waters, or the sea. So the water sign being Pisces, it's about intuition, creativity, but it's also about hypnosis and psychosis and lies and deceit. So some people are saying you could look at this literally as like, oh, Jupiter is really going to expand our seas and the water elements, and water is about cleansing and purification, and the sea levels may rise, and there may be more tsunamis and floods, because in 1856, the last time this particular conjunction happened, there were a mass amount of floods in Europe. But there were a couple other great things that happened in 1856. There was this undercurrent and movement in spirituality. Spirituality actually falls underneath the Piscean sign. Then you had photography going from black and white to color. And other forms of media followed suit with that, with color. So some astrologers are saying, it doesn't have to necessarily be literal, although it could be literal, because huge miles and chunks of ice are falling off of Antarctica. There's been 2 articles in the last couple months of huge masses separating from Antarctica, which means once it continues to drop into the sea, it's going to eventually melt and the sea levels will rise. So we could see that sea level rising. It could be literal, but I want to say the astrologer I was listening to today, she had really positive insight to it. And she was saying, yeah, that it could also be a spiritual tsunami. And I was like, ooh, I like the sound of that. And she said, and the arts and anything intuitive and creative is going to have to be the focus. And that is going to be what starts to expand now that we're in this age of Aquarius. And the lies and the deceit and the things that have been told to us that are untrue is going to be revealed and coming out more and more this year. So anyway, I think it's kind of fun to look at this astrology and see how it applies to us personally and collectively. And we'll see what this conjunction means as we move forward with this energy. The last thing I'll say about it is Pisces is the end of the zodiac sign. Aries is the beginning. So some are saying this is the ending of a 12-year cycle and the upstart of a new 12-year cycle. And then some are saying, yes, this is the completion of things that have been happening in the last 12 years, and it's going to be the dawning of something new. So that could be relationships, it could be things that you're working on, projects. It depends on where it falls into your personal natal chart. So if you ever want to find out, like, hey, I hear this conjunction is happening, where are these planets in my chart? You can ask someone in that field to tell you, and then you'll know, oh, is it coming up? I feel like you, it's definitely your business. Because that's just so obvious. But for each one of us, it may be in a different house, which means a different corner or aspect of our lives. All right, so let's start. Let's start on our backs today. With our knees bent, knees together, and hands on the belly. Close your eyes. We often say that the body holds about 70 to 80% water. A few months ago, I also discovered that the inner fascia of the body holds about 70% water. And if that connective tissue gets dehydrated, it can cause pain in the body. We also know being dehydrated can create headaches. Just consider all the rain we've had the last couple of days, these planets with this conjunction in a water sign. Think about how water is very cleansing and purifying. So I want you to begin to notice the air that you're breathing in. And even though we're working with our air element as we breathe, we also notice there's a little bit of a water element mixed in with the air element. We can sense this when we feel the wave of the breath rolling from the belly up to the chest. So connect to that undulation as it ripples up and down the torso. Maybe even noticing it in your back body as you rest on your mat. About 3 more breaths to center your mind, to open your heart, and to mindfully prepare for this practice today. So now separate your knees, firm the foundation in your feet, and bring your arms beside you, palms facing down. As you inhale, press down through your arms and feet, and lift thighs, hips, abdomen, and chest. Hold your bridge, keeping your knees narrow, firing up the hamstrings, the buttocks, your outer shoulders. Take one last deep breath here at bridge. And then as you exhale, slowly let go of the activation in the back of the body. to roll down to the sacrum. And then fly the feet in the air. Spread the toes nice and wide. Separate the feet nice and wide, creating that V shape over the body. Kick up your heels now. Maybe he'll draw the legs and the feet back together. And as you exhale, bring the right leg closer to you, catch the back of your thigh or calf, and lower the left heel so it's hovering right over the sticky mat. And then swap. Let your right leg hover, catch your left leg. And then swap, holding your right, hovering your left. Good, swap, catching your left, hovering the right. On the next one, once you swap, you can slowly contract your core and lift the head up towards the knee. And then swap, scoop in, pick yourself up more. We'll do one more, holding the right leg. You can choose head up or down, core engaged or not. Swap one last round, scoop in and lift. And then as you exhale, lower the head and hug the knees. Roll away to one side of your body, push down to the left hand and come up. And we'll transfer to hands and knees. Once we come on to the hands and knees for tabletop position, draw the belly in and really press strongly through your palms. Slowly take your left leg straight back behind you. Try not to lift it any higher than the hips so that you're less apt to sway the back. Flex through that ankle and then slowly pick up your right arm, coming into this spinal balance. Resting on alternate limbs. Gazing down, balancing and breathing. Then exhale, release. Inhale, send your right leg back with that ankle flex. Push down through your palms. Press down through your left shin and foot. When you're ready, store the left arm out in front for spinal balance. Exhale, release. Walk your hands a baby step beyond where they initially were to curl your toes and to lift off to downward facing dog. Let your head bow between the arms. When you're ready, sink to your knees. Shift your shoulders past your wrists. Bend the elbows, dip down like you're gonna drink from a creek. And then inhale, land to your belly, roll into Bhujangasana, Cobra Snake, and then exhale back into Child's. In Child's, the elbows are up, so you get more traction through the arms and back. Inhale, rock up, hands and knees. Curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. Plugging the hands and feet into the floor, exhaling your seat as high as possible. Bowing your head to look back in the direction of the feet or beyond. Exhale, drop to knees. Shift the shoulders past the wrist, dip down. Inhale, shine the heart through Cobra. Exhale back into extended child's pose. Keep the hands super glued to the floor. The head may need to hover. You don't have to force it down. All right, inhale, rock forward again. Exhale, this time downward facing dog. And from Adho Mukha Svanasana, go ahead and walk the feet to the front of the mat. And fold in half. Let the arms spill down, let your head spill down. Once you ground the feet, inhale, slide your hands up the shins, lift halfway up. And then exhale, drape back down. Inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, hands come down to the heart. All right, if you have your two blocks, I would recommend them because we're going to step the right foot back and make sure the toes are kind of turned in so that you can angle your right hip to face the front. Stack your hands here, drill the feet down, lift up through your knees, contract your quads. And then as you exhale, you're going to hinge and fold. As you hinge and fold, keep your hands to your hips. Make sure one is not lifting or hiking up more than the other. And then eventually bring your hands down to your blocks. With your arms straightened out and your head flying up, we're going to undulate like water up and down over the front legs. So this will be the kind of inhale here. And as we exhale, we let go of the arms and rain down over the front leg. Now to ripple up, we pull the navel in towards the spine. We start to straighten the arms and hide the heart away. And then the head comes up last and we elongate the neck and gaze out. And then as we exhale, we ripple down. As we inhale, we ripple up. Exhale down. Now the next time you ripple back up, hands to the blocks, we'll transfer the hands back to the hips and slowly come up. Good, once you come up, lunge that front knee. We're gonna do standing backward bend. It's different than warrior one. The arms are gonna come up, the palms are gonna be together over the crown. The elbows are bent and splayed open. Then we puff up the chest and lean the head back. We exhale, let the hands come back down, step that foot up, and then step the left foot back, float the hands up, come to stand, and square the hips, straighten out the legs, lift the chest, hinge forward to make sure that one hip isn't sliding ahead than the other or hiking up higher than the other. And then once it feels even, you can lower the hands to the blocks. If you need to maintain a static hold, you can. Otherwise, go ahead and spill down over the front leg. And then we'll ripple up and down 3 times. Inhale, ripple it up. Exhale, rain down. 2 more at your own pace. On your next deep breath, straighten the arms, lift the head up. Condition the feet down, hands to the waist, slowly come up to stand. Lunge that right knee, arms overhead, palms together. And standing backward bend, we puff the chest up, we bow the head back. Exhale, let the hands come down. You're gonna wiggle the left toes back. Feel free to find that right position for your blocks. And your inhale, gonna lift the hips, and you're gonna exhale, sink them down. And you're just gonna pulse it up and down as you breathe. And then launch. Once you lunge that front knee, launch the front back foot to the front and the front foot all the way to the back. You'll do the same thing. Just inhale, lifting the hips in the lunge, and then exhale, driving them down. Just pulsing up on the inhale and back down on the exhale. And then from here, set your blocks to the sides, clench your hands, step it into your plank. We're gonna hold it for 5 breaths. Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5. Set your knees down, bring a block with you, and the block is gonna go in between your ankles to sit on the tops of the feet, thumbs to the hip crease. We haven't done this one in a while. Shoulders back, heart open. Exhale, pour over your lap. Then we're gonna ripple up and down a couple more times. Inhale, pull the navel in. Let your head be heavy and let it come up last. And then let your heart take the lead as you gently roll out over your thighs. One more. We're going to do one more thing with the arms. If this isn't a good seat for you, come to sit normally like a cross-legged position. So get your spine to comfortable position for your legs. We're going to focus on the arms. And we're going to bring in the ripple effect. I'll turn this way. So you start with your shoulder punched up towards the ear, and then you bring the elbow up and your wrist is relaxed. And you lower. Okay, and the other side. And you're just gonna go back and forth. Big, billowy movements. I sit in the yoga shirt, so it's starting to show. And then make the movement smaller. Not quite as billowy. And then a little smaller, maybe a little faster. Do you feel the arms? This is some work. Makes you appreciate belly dancers and break dancers at a whole new level. All right, now wrap your right arm under your left for eagle. Back of the hands may or may not touch. However, you might be able to intertwine all of it. So just test the waters here. Gairadasana. Exhale, release. All right. Big movements again. I brought this back yesterday and I'm like, I remember doing this the whole pandemic. And making them smaller. I used to do this a lot. And smaller. Now left arm hooks underneath the right. You're going to be able to relax after all this. Holding your eagle arms. Affirming at the center of life's storms, I choose to remain serene. I have it on do not disturb, so I don't know why I did that. All right, release. All right. That, we're on restorative now. Creating Stonehenge. If you have a blanket, I don't have a blanket here. If you have a blanket, one position is under your head. Another position would be to drape it over your belly and tuck it into your waist. If you're at home, you can do this with a stool or a chair or a sofa. We want the crease of the knees to be at the bolster, or if you're at home, the piece of furniture. Calves on top. It's okay if the feet hang off. So while you're getting settled in your Stonehenge position, flip your hands open. You may even still feel some energy in the hands from that last sequence. So let your bones take rest. Let your muscles begin to soften. My thought for you guys today, I would share five healing intentions that can be promoted with the energy of this conjunction. The first healing intention. To be in the question and to ask yourself, is there anything that I'm needing to free up from my life? And that could be in your psyche with habitual thinking. It could be offering forgiveness with a grievance that you haven't been able to get over. Freeing up the emotional body. It could be freeing something up from your diet. Maybe you want to lessen caffeine or sugar or promote things that are more organic. Is there anything that's been a big part of your energy or your servitude in the previous 12 years that is coming to an end? Where can you free yourself up? You don't have to mull it over or be analytical in the now. Just plant the seed. And then nourish that seed by focusing on your breath and breathing in a more optimal way for at least 7 rounds. At the end of those 7 deep breaths, just let your mind clear and let your mind relax
with your body.
Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Ready, hugging the knees into the belly, chest. Rolling away to your right side. You have to take a seat. I'll give you a choice for this one. If you would rather have it in a slide than to lay back on it that way, you can. If you would like to have it under your spine for a back bend with no blocks creating the slide, you can do that. If you'd rather have a little bit more dynamic of a back bend, you can do the restorative fish. But for this one, remember, you may have to sit on a blanket or have the blanket under your head, depending on how it feels to the back. So if you were feeling like you needed to bend your knees, that's a sign you need to sit on the blanket before you roll over it. If it's cranking your neck too much, you may need a blanket to support it, like this. I'll let you choose one. Basically, we're just trying to gain access into the heart. Buoying the heart up closer to the surface. Take a moment when you recline to feel the opening in the chest, and to notice the ripple effect of the breath. The first healing intention, where do you need to free yourself up? The second healing intention is to call in more of your higher self. We tend to broaden our awareness into more of a pure positive state of consciousness when we can sit and drop in and get into that meditative state. So maybe meditation is how you tap into your higher self. And if that's the case, maybe create a meditation on your breath. If we continue to call in our higher self, if we continue to tap into our higher self, then our intuitive messages become stronger, even in the dream state. So meditate now.
can still be observant of your breath as you listen to the third healing intention with this conjunction. We're connecting back to our higher self. The intuitive messages get stronger. This energy is also ushering in more of the divine feminine energy. That's allowing our hearts to expand. As your heart expands, notice if anything or what may be seeking attention, healing, acceptance, or support. What, if anything, is seeking attention, healing, acceptance, and support? Again, we're just being in the question and planting the seed. We don't have to know the answer, but to nourish the seed, we come back to the breath. The breath is one of our greatest life support systems. Couple more breaths. Ready, bend the knees. Roll away to one side. Up and I'll show you the next position. By the way, these healing intentions are from a particular astrologer that I follow, Molly McCord. So I wanted to give her credit for these healing intentions. The next one's going to be child's pose, and I know this is not great for everyone's knees. So if you come to this position and it's just too much, you could also place the bolster under your thighs, separate your feet, and then come down this way. So either that passive crocodile with the bolster or child's pose with the bolster. Two more healing intentions with this conjunction. So just to review the first three. The first one, what do we need to free up? Second one, calling in more of our higher self. And the third one, as the intuitiveness increases, Notice what needs more attention, healing, acceptance, and support. The fourth one is allowing soul contracts to close. Especially the contracts that are not for the best and the highest good for all. You may start to notice, or have already noticed, you're no longer in resonance with certain people, with certain places, certain situations. And your paths may be separating. So can we accept and allow this to play out? Maybe there were seasons or reasons for us to be doing something or in communication with someone. But that contract's fulfilled. Now it's time for the contract to end. It's okay. Take about 3 more breaths. All the exhalations all the way out. Recognize that just because that breath is ending, there's a new one getting ready to emerge. This conjunction is about endings and looking forward to new beginnings. Ready? Slowly begin to exit that pose, maybe taking the hands more under the shoulders to push up. And get our final resting pose now. You might enjoy legs at the wall, which you're welcome to do. Or you can take the bolster under your knees, your blanket under head or over the body.
Do bubbling brook. The fifth healing intention is moving into a higher vibrational state. I know that you have felt how you can elevate your frequency with yoga. If you've ever done Tai Chi or Qigong, any type of breath work or meditation, really anything that helps us go within. It's going to elevate our frequency. When that frequency gets elevated, we move into a natural state of calm. Within the state of calm of the higher frequency, we can look at and see and recognize and celebrate our best qualities. And we can see all experiences are here for our own growth. It's a way to help us to learn. So drop the judgments of your thoughts, of your feelings, of your life. And return to that state of calm and let your frequency heighten. Feel free to use a technique to get there. Maybe it's just watching the breath. Maybe it's controlling the breath. Maybe it's listening to the music and just drifting with it. Or maybe using an affirmative statement or mantra to recite over on repeat. Take 3 more breaths. After those 3 breaths, you can start to exit your pose, maybe sliding the feet down the wall, maybe hugging them in to your upper body. And then turning over, lifting your way up. A more formal seat. Hands to prayer position at your heart. Shanti, shanti, shanti.